Some have criticized Republican House leadership for striking a deal with the White House to raise the federal government spending limit. But in response, a Democratic leader says it was actually former President Donald Trump who ran up the national debt more than any other president. Paul Spade checks that claim for PolitiFact.
Which president racked up the most debt in U.S. history? Now, Republicans are talking a lot about President Biden's administration adding to the national debt. But Hakeem Jeffries, who recently took over for Nancy Pelosi as the Democratic House leader, he says it was actually Donald Trump who accumulated more debt than any president in U.S. history. Now, is this right? Not really. According to data from the Treasury Department, the federal debt rose by nearly $8 trillion under Trump's watch. Now, that's a large amount, but as you can see, it's still not as much as the $9.5 trillion accumulated by former President Barack Obama. Of course, Obama served 2 terms and Trump only served 1. So if we look at average spending on a per year basis, Trump racked up debt at a higher rate than any other president.
Next year is projected to be the largest tax refund season ever. And we're going to be giving back refunds out of the tariffs because we've taken in literally trillions of dollars. And we're going to be giving a nice dividend to the people. In addition to reducing debt, as you know, I inherited a lot of debt, but it's peanuts compared to the kind of numbers we're talking about. So we're going to be making a dividend to the people. And additionally, we're going to be able to reduce debt. And as time goes by over the next 2, 3, 4 years, those numbers are going to go up. And I believe that at some point in the not too distant future, you won't even have income tax to pay because the money we're taking in is so great, it's so enormous that you're not going to have income tax to pay. Whether you get rid of it or just keep it around for fun or have it really low, much lower than it is now, but you won't be paying income tax.
These can help rapidly rebuild Venezuela's dilapidated oil industry and bring millions of barrels of oil production to benefit the United States, the people of Venezuela, and the entire world. And yesterday, the number is 30 million barrels. I can't even, is that a correct number? 30 million barrels. You hear that, Peter? Of oil was given to us by Venezuela. That's a lot of oil. It's about $4 billion worth, and it's on its way to the United States right now. And we want to thank Venezuela for that. And we're working very well with them, obviously, or they wouldn't have been so generous. But they respect us again. They didn't respect us at all before. So that's money that goes to the United States. Some will go to Venezuela. And some will go to the oil companies, but not that, because that's already been extracted. So you're not getting any of that. But when you start extracting, you'll get. But it's tremendous reserves. Among the biggest in the world. Some people say it is the biggest in the world. And we're going to be working with Venezuela. We're going to be making the decision as to which oil companies are going to go in, that we're going to allow to go in. We're going to cut a deal with the companies. We'll probably do that today or very shortly thereafter with Chris and Doug. And we're dealing with the country, so we're empowered to make that deal. And you'll have total safety, total security. One of the reasons you couldn't go in is you had no guarantees, you had no security, but now you have total security. It's a whole different Venezuela, and Venezuela is going to be very successful. And the people of the United States are going to be big beneficiaries because we're going to be extracting, numbers in terms of oil, like, few people have ever seen, actually. So you're dealing with us directly. You're not dealing with Venezuela at all. We don't want you to deal with Venezuela. Let me thank Vice President J.D. Vance, who's doing a fantastic job. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, likewise, a fantastic job. I have good people. I like them better than my first group. But despite that, we had a great first term. We had some great people there, too, by the way. But we had a great first term. We had the greatest economy in the history of our country in the first term, but this is blowing it away. And you haven't seen anything yet. Everyone's been shocked by the numbers, 5.4% GDP. And that's despite the fact that we were badly hurt by the Democrat shutdown, of which they'd like to see if they could shut it down again. Secretary of the Interior Doug Burgum, who's fantastic. Secretary of Energy, Chris Wright, recommended by Doug as being the greatest oil man anywhere in the world, because I wanted Doug for that job, Energy, and Doug said, no, sir, there's a man named Chris Wright. I said, who the hell is Chris Wright? He said he's the most talented oil man anywhere in the world. I doubt you can get him, because typically oil men make a lot of money, and women. They make a lot of money, but Chris came. You took one of the greatest salary cuts probably in history, Chris, right? But he's a fantastic person, loves our country, and many other important members of this team. And I want to thank them for their efforts. As you know, last week, the United States Armed Forces performed one of the most spectacular military operations in American history, apprehending the outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro for his crimes against the United States, crimes for which he has now been indicted and is in federal court awaiting trial. And he killed many people, millions of people, actually, and allowed jails, prisons, mental institutions, insane asylums, drug dealers, drug addicts to pour into our country totally unchecked because of Sleepy Joe Biden's policy of open borders, the stupidest thing I've ever.
Hey out there, this is Buzz with the Survival Buzz. Hope everybody's doing good out there this Saturday evening. You know, it seems like people are just blind nowadays. And I truly believe social media has ruined people for the most part, especially TikTok, shorts, all those sort of things where people's attention spans have just diminished to absolutely nothing, it seems like. People can't read books. They can't sit down and watch a 2-hour interview or anything like that anymore. It's all about just instant gratification, the ability to just swipe your finger and watch whatever doomer video you want, or whatever makes you laugh, or whatever BS news they want to feed you, and people fall for it hook, line, and sinker. And even though I use news feeds and things like that in my videos here on my channel, you have to read between the lines, man. You have to be able to look through the veil and really see what's going on. And all this nonsense with Venezuela and things going on right now, and the shootings and things with the protests, man, people are just falling for whatever they're fed. And there's going to be riots. There's going to be protests. There's going to be craziness going on in the streets. And it's all because people want to choose a side. They want to believe the narrative that they're fed. They want to go left or right or blue or red or whatever color it may be. They want to believe that they truly have a voice, and they want to believe that they really make a difference. And as far as I can tell, that hasn't been the case in my entire lifetime. Maybe I'm wrong, but in at least the last 20 years or so, I haven't seen it, man. And it ekes me, the people that still say, you got to vote, it's our right to go out and vote, because honestly, I don't feel like it makes a difference. And you're just voting for the chains of your own oppression. It's two wings of the same evil bird, like I always say. Whether you're voting Democrat or Republican, it really doesn't matter. There might be some issues that you can agree upon, but for the most part, none of them are out for our best interests, really. And there's still so many people on the Trump train. It's just ridiculous, honestly, that you could believe anything that man has to say. You know, right when he got into office, he talked about all this money that we were saving as a nation, and we've been hearing about these, you know, tariff checks that everybody's going to get, and we're going to get all this money back, and we're going to fix the economy and everything just overnight and things. But yet, when you look at the national debt clock, it doesn't look like that thing's stopping, does it? That thing keeps just skyrocketing more and more, and it doesn't matter who you put in office. And even if they tell you they're doing good and they're making all this money, it's a lie. It's a flat out lie. And then now all this stuff with Venezuela, them saying that we're going to get all this money from the oil and things. All I ever hear about is how much we're bringing the debt down and how much money we're saving and how much we're hurting all these other nations with tariffs and things. And it's all nonsense. It's literal lies, and people still fall for it hook, line, and sinker. Do you see when we go to the store? Do you see when you go fill your grocery cart at the store, or when you put gas in your car, or pay your mortgage, or whatever it may be? Do you really feel like you're saving money? Do you? Because I don't care what any of these people say on the talking heads on the TV. I don't care we are not ahead. Interest rates are not going down. Inflation is not going down. I'm getting less and less when I go to the store. My utility bills go up more and more. And I don't even live close to a data center, but I see all these people where they live beside these data centers and things, and their electric bill and their water bill and everything's going up, and it's getting crazy out there. And then now all these protests and things going on from these shootings, and they can create whatever kind of narrative they want on the news to make you believe whatever they want you to believe. And people still feel like, you think the government, do you think these news operations that are run by the richest people in the world that are in bed with all these politicians that literally pay for these politicians to be in office, do you think they're out for your best interest? Do you think they're going to feed you some news that's really going to help your situation, that's really going to brighten your day and make things easier for you? Do you think they're going to tell you the truth about anything? Because there is a narrative being pushed here. It's divide and conquer. And there is, at the end of the day, if you're American, there is no left or right. Yeah, they might have some policies and things that you agree with, but at the end of the day, none of them are out for your best interest. And if you think I'm wrong, prove me wrong. Tell me down in the comments, because I think it's all nonsense. I really do. And even people on here, even people that I know in real life that said Trump's going to change things, he's going to get in there and change things. And he was talking about, no more war. Look at where we're at in the world right now. Look at where we're at. And you can believe whatever you want. You can go with whatever narrative they're feeding you. But at the end of the day, these people aren't out for our best interests. And that national debt clock just keeps skyrocketing, keeps going up and going up. Inflation keeps going up. Things get more and more expensive every day. It's getting harder and harder to get by. And yet, at the end of the day, I'm not getting raises enough to keep up with all this stuff. And I'm sure a lot of you out there aren't either. This is the cards that we're dealt. And this is what everybody's dealing with right now. And if you're still too blind to see it, if you still want to believe everything that they're feeding you, wake up, man. Lift the veil from your eyes. Look around. The only way to get out of all of this is to pray for God to save you. Pray for Jesus Christ to enter your heart and to save you from all this nonsense, because it ain't stopping. They're going to crash this economy. They're going to crash the dollar. And that is exactly their intentions, not just here, but worldwide. So they can bring in their digital IDs, their digital currency. They can control your every move, control what you buy, control what you sell, control what you say online. And that's already happened in places like UK. You can't even text somebody the wrong thing or get on social media and give your opinion without people trying to break your door down and arrest you and take you away. And that's soon to be here in the United States as well. People are so blind and they've been so privileged and so sheltered their whole life to think that those sort of things can't happen here in the U.S. But they're coming. They're coming to your doorstep. And the sooner you can get prepared, the sooner you can put things back, prepare your family and get close to God so you might have some protection in all of this, the better off you're going to be. Look, I'm on here making videos because I love everybody out there and I want everybody to succeed, and I want heaven to be a busy place. Don't fall for the lies anymore. Get your houses in order. God bless y'all and your families, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Later.